What's up, guys? So I'm back. So guess what? I got my first mean comment. I'm making it. I'm joking. But actually, I'm pretty surprised I haven't received any mean comments yet until now, since I put out, rather controversial stuff here and there most of the time, except for when I'm doing my collectibles. But it was on my recent video I just posted about Kanye, um, with as far as his idiotic rantings starting to financially hurt him, and the fact that he's a person who is expressing serious psychological issues, but he's also an asshole, and I separate the two. And the commenter in that post, you can go to that post if you want to. I'm not going to display it here. But he basically said, imagine someone using media talking points and then saying that the other person is mentally ill. Shall we unpack that? I shall. Okay. So first of all, I don't really rehash media talking points. I will often go over stuff that's also popular in the media. And if that's what he meant, sure, I'm guilty of that. Pretty much everyone who does YouTube videos or whatever is gonna talk about stuff in pop culture. Cal Surprise. But um, in the other interpretation of that is that I'm basically using the talking points that people in the media are saying about him, and obviously the person thinks though they're questionable. Well, they may be questionable, but they're not talking points I get from the media. If I use any talking points, they're going to come from my academic background, to be quite honest. Which leads into the other thing. So I rarely like bringing up my bona fides, if that's what you want to call them. But yeah, I do have an entire degree in uh, scientific psychology, and I've taken numerous courses in things like psychopathology and uh, counseling skills. So I'm quite adept in knowing when someone has mental health problems. But beyond that, you don't need to have a background in psychology to know that Kanye West has psychological issues. He's admitted it as such himself. He's even been um, put on a 72-hour watch at one time and committed to a psychiatric hospital. I don't know if this was voluntarily done or involuntarily done. The fact that it was a 72-hour watch makes me think it was involuntarily done, but I'm not sure. Either way, those things have been verified for others to publicly check for themselves. And again, you don't need to have my background in psychology and cognitive science to know that the man is expressing um, issues that need to be handled psychologically. The reason why I did the video, though, is that it's a continuation of a previous video I did where I wanted to disambiguate the fact that he has mental health problems and the fact that he's an asshole. And I was saying the two are not the same, that you can have one without the other, or both, or neither. And that's why I wanted to jump into what happened, because those chickens are coming home to roost. Like, he's been saying stuff. Unfortunately, when he was saying stuff about his own folks, it didn't hurt him that much, except within the black community. A lot of people, like myself, wrote him off like 10 years ago. But mainstream society hasn't. And he lost no sponsorships when he says slavery was a choice, and printed t-shirts saying white lives matter or whatever, which I don't have a problem with in itself, but it's the implicature behind that. Like, I don't defend BLM because I don't defend these little stupid women with their big large mansions, but that's a whole different that's a whole discussion for another time. And I've talked about that before with my friend in some previous videos. In any case, uh yeah, the very name of my YouTube channel should suggest that I'm not going to be rehashing common talking points in the media. Um, Just a Contrarian. I'm called that for a purpose, and it's not because, again, as I've stated many times, I don't call myself just a contrarian because I'm actually a contrarian who will just bring up whatever's the opposite of the main viewpoint. I'm saying it because someone who likes to pride themselves on critical thinking skills and sometimes just likes being sarcastic, like I do, will often be called contrarian just because they won't simply just get along and agree with what everyone else is saying when they disagree. But that that happens. People who express critical thinking skills are often mistaken for contrarians. So I accept that. But as such, you're not going to expect me to rehash media talking points. Now, sometimes because I find certain views reasonable, I'm going to agree with them. Like, duh. Why would I not disagree? I mean, well, excuse me. Why would I not agree with something that is just patently true? The man has mental health issues. If you don't believe that, you're fine. You're fine in not believing that he has mental health issues. You're just wrong. Okay? The man has them. He's stated that he has them. He's been committed to a hospital for 72 hours before because of his issues. His wife left him partly because of his health issues. People around him are concerned about him because of his health issues. So what are you gonna do? Now, as far as him being an asshole, that's just his personality. I'm not sure you can do anything about that. But his mental health, that can be done, that can be treated. And I don't have sympathy for him because whether he's a billionaire or now only a 400 million worth nair, I know that's horrible the way I expressed it. Don't, whatever. But no, whatever the case may be, the man has the financial resources to get the help that he needs and refuses to do so. So I don't give a fuck about him. And if you feel so strongly about him, okay. But I'm just a contrarian, guys. Enjoy the collectibles. See that? See that? There you go.